up, fight fans? So today we have the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. That's tonight on Netflix. So there's so much novelty to this. One, we got Mike Tyson back, right? We haven't seen him since his exhibition with Roy Jones, and it's always cool to see the character of Mike Tyson, and we kind of got that in the press conference. And two is Jake Paul, the social media guy or whatever, social media superstar. That's also a thing, right? That's a catalyst to this whole thing. And it's on Netflix, which is just weird on its own, right? We've never had any boxing, live boxing on Netflix. I've said for a long time that if we put boxing on Netflix, that would be the platform that can literally catapult the company, because they already have a large install base. They don't need to nickel and dime you with pay-per-views as much as other companies would have to do. So I think that it'll be super awesome if Netflix continues this trend. This is their way to break in. And like their 24/7, I think it's called Countdown, has been phenomenally produced, written, everything has been awesome. So their production value is always super high, and seeing it integrate with live boxing just brings joy to my heart. Now, the live boxing we're gonna get is Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. That's the real fight, right? That's the undercard to the spectacle fight, but that's the real fight. Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. I predicted Amanda would beat Katie in the last fight. I'm predicting that she will beat her in this one. It was a very close fight, but like Amanda is just this beast, man. She's like a different animal, bro. Something about her, 7 division world champion, that just like she's literally just one away from Manny Pacquiao's impossible division, world championship, legacy, right? It's unbelievable. So I can't wait for that. But let's talk about the slap. That's the biggest thing coming out of the press conference. The thing is, I don't think that was scripted. I think he hit him super hard. Jake Paul, unfortunately, his face gets read very, very easily. Very, very easily. You could see, like when he got slapped, I'm sure like this left side of his face was real hot for a good amount of time after you started to see the buildup of the red. However, the dude is, he has that aggression in him, right? He has that kind of killer instinct, right? Because he got hyped from that happening. He didn't really flinch. He didn't really move. When he got hit, he didn't really have this like kind of like super reaction. He just took it, soaked it in, and just was like, all right, I'm good. Now, now we mean business or whatever. But clearly the reason he did it, the thing with Mike Tyson is never gonna let you punk him. He has a thing inside of him where he has to assert his alpha in every possible moment. The guy who got punched on the plane by Mike Tyson is because he thought he could bother Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's like, no, I'm gonna assert my alpha on this punk. I'm punching you in the face. Even with what's this guy, the Let's Go champ, I forgot his name, Shannon Briggs. Even with Shannon Briggs doing the whole Let's Go champ, right? You see Mike Tyson kind of playing around, and then Shannon Briggs kind of pushes him and kind of like mushes him a little bit, and then Mike Tyson, in a playful manner, like if you grew up in like any like place, like for example, I grew up in the Bronx, right? Even though this is a playful thing, it's you're gonna play with me rough, I'm gonna play with you rough, but you're not gonna out alpha me. And if you want to escalate this to something more, I'll escalate this to something more. But we could just cancel it out right here if you want. I'll laugh, you'll laugh. Let's leave it right here. But I'll take it over here. Don't out alpha me until I could get you to completely subdue all of your whatever you doing to make it look like you punking me. We're gonna play rough. And if you want to keep playing rough, we're going to keep playing rough till it get crazy. That's how it works when you grow up in places like the Bronx, right? So he grew up in Brooklyn, which is the same thing. I immediately seen when he did that with Shannon Briggs, and I just immediately registered that type of energy. And that's the same thing that happened with Jake Paul. Jake Paul came up to him, stepped on his toe, and he was like, no, heck no, you're not going to step on my toe. You're getting slapped. And he threw two body shots quickly to the body too, but he was pushed away. So he didn't land those shots. Thankfully, I think the two body shots to the body would have been worse than the slap, to be quite honest. But I think they helped definitely build hype for this fight. It's already novel, in my opinion. It's on Netflix. That's interesting. It's a really old man that somehow got sanctioned to fight a really young guy, right? Jake Paul isn't a professional boxer, right? So like if Jake Paul was, Tyson, he's a professional boxer, but he's not like a seasoned professional boxer, right? He's still sort of new to the sport. But if Jake, like for example, if Jake Paul was like, Usyk, this fight would mean like, it would be like, this is don't do this. This makes no sense. But he's Jake Paul, right? Like he lives in this gray area of, we don't really know how good he is. We don't really know how bad he is, because he may have lost to Tommy Fury, but he dropped Tommy Fury and he hung with Tommy Fury, right? And then he beat Anderson Silva and he beat all these other like fighters, right? That although they did MMA, they were fighters. So he lives in this kind of gray area where we're not too sure. Like, he's a favorite to beat Mike Tyson, but we're not too sure how good he is or how bad he is. I'm also one of those rare people that have been watching boxing since I was like 6 years old. And I love the sport and it's everything to me, and I love the legacy of it, but I also appreciate what Jake Paul represents for the sport, because he brings in the casual audience. He pulls them in, and then once they get in and they understand the rules and they see the excitement and they kind of get it, they could become fans for life. So I appreciate the bridge that Jake Paul creates when it comes to boxing fandom, because it's not about gatekeeping it and letting it die. Because when you gatekeep it, you're gonna you're gonna die, and then nobody came to watch it. Now the whole sport dead, right? So it's not about gatekeeping it. It's about letting it grow. And I've been super consistent on this throughout my entire, even on Boxing Fanatico. Before I was talking about boxing video games on Boxing Fanatico, I would talk about the whole DAZN thing and all these different things, and how the KSI versus Logan Paul fight was a good thing, even though boxing fans hated it. I've been always a contrarian to that thought process that bringing eyeballs to the sport is good no matter what. That's what I think. No matter what, if you bring eyeballs to the sport, it creates a gateway to the rest of the sport. Even if the eyeballs are going on something kind of dumb that you think is dumb, it's still bringing eyeballs to the sport, so that there is this like kind of understanding of what it is to watch boxing, and then they go, hey, you know what, I kind of want to watch this guy, and I kind of want to watch that guy, and maybe let me see this. Now that I kind of understand this from watching this, let me see what a Canelo fight looks like. Let me see what a Gervonta Tank Davis fight looks like, right? So, to me, it's a good thing. This is a win-win. I think this is a win-win for the popularity of the sport. Let's see what it does in terms of numbers. If they even reveal that, that's going to be bizarre. Will Netflix reveal the amount of viewership that it got? I'm sure it's going to get millions upon millions of viewership. It's free on Netflix if you already have a Netflix subscription, and let's be real, you already have a Netflix subscription. So this is going to be a very interesting thing. Let's see how it plays out. I'm very curious to see, and hopefully this is a continuation for Netflix to do more boxing content. So that is the slap. I think it was not scripted. I think Jake Paul stepped on Mike Tyson's toes, and Mike Tyson said, you're not going to punk me, bro, because I will out alpha you even at 58. So that's why I really think Mike Tyson's going to go in there and try to take his head off. Like, I'm in the majority. I'm in the minority here, thinking that Mike Tyson will probably drop and win the fight, because his alpha is going to take over so much, and he's going to be on like adrenaline, and he's just going to go crazy. I could be wrong, man. He's super old, but I think he built enough calluses and he has enough grit in him, and he has enough. He's battle tested enough that he doesn't come off as punch drunk. He's not like a punch drunk fighter. I think he's gonna really come in there and try to take Jake Paul's head off. Right? That's what I think. Although Jake Paul's the favorite because he's young, makes sense. I'm gonna go on the contrary to what most people think. I'm going to say that Mike Tyson will win this fight. All right. Anyways, until the next one, peace out.